video talking about comparatives with verbs. If you want to compare verbs, this might be a verb of action like walk or talk. It might be more of a non-action verb or a linking verb like sound or look. We can use these different forms here. If you want to say two things are the same, if you want to say that they are approximately the same, or to say that they are not the same. And we have them in degree here, from little difference to bigger difference, little difference to big difference, little difference to bigger difference. So let's give some examples. If I want to compare my mother and me, I can say, I talk exactly the same as my mother. So I'm using one object of comparison as my subject, and I'm using the other object of my comparison here, my mother and me, or I and my mother. If I use both objects of comparison as the subject, my mother and I talk exactly the same, period. I can also use these. These have the same idea. I can say, I sound exactly like my mother. My mother and I sound exactly alike, period. Just has the same meaning as exactly. You can use these for this approximate idea. I sound almost the same as my brother. My brother and I sound almost the same. Actually, we don't really sound the same. Maybe a verb like walk is better. I walk almost the same as my brother. My brother and I walk very much alike. It doesn't matter which one you use. Here, they have the same meanings. This gives the idea of not the same, right? So, I do not sound exactly like my father. My father and I do not sound exactly alike. So notice I'm taking the not and I'm putting it together with the verb. Do not sound. Do not look. Do not walk. Don't think it needs to stay together. And then down here, focusing on different, differently, notice this is differently. It is not different. This is the adverb because we are modifying verbs here. So I could say on the telephone, I sound a bit. Oh, actually not sound. I talk a bit differently than when I am face to face with someone. My mother and I talk a bit differently, period. Same idea, you can have both subjects, both items as the subject, and then you'll use this one. If you have only one item as the subject, you'll use this one. Difference between from and than. From is possibly considered less formal, than a little more academic, but the meaning is exactly the same. So you can use these to describe verbs everywhere you go.